You know, when most people think about like amazing wine regions, um, Tunisia doesn't exactly spring to mind, But this deep dive request has me really intrigued. Tunisian wine, not something you hear every day.
Right.
So it seems we've got a real hidden gem on our hands. The materials you sent over about its history, it's way more interesting than I expected.
Yeah, it's one of those things people, we associate wine with like France, Italy, California maybe. But Tunisia's got a wine history that goes back, well, let's just say it blows those other regions out of the water.
Okay, now you're going to spill the tea. Give me the rundown.
So picture this, the Phoenicians, right?
Yeah.
Expert sailors all over the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And wherever they landed, they planted vineyards.
Yeah.
But they saw Tunisia, the terroir, the climate. It was perfect for grapes.
So they were picky. They knew a good thing when they saw it.
Exactly. And get this, historians think they brought these special trellising techniques with them to get the grapes maximum sun. And they passed those techniques down generation to generation.
Wow. That is incredible. So it's like not just winemaking, it's almost like an inheritance, right? Centuries old.
Yeah.
But there's more to the story, isn't there? I mean, I saw some stuff in the material about French influence, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can't talk about Tunisian wine without talking about the French. Fast forward a few centuries. Think about how food gets, like fusion. Indian food in India is different than what British colonialism made it, right?
Yeah.
French techniques, they kind of got woven into the mix, like adding new spices to an old family recipe.
It's like every generation adds their own, twist on things. It makes it richer, more complex. So we've got this blend of ancient and modern influences in Tunisian winemaking, which I gotta say makes it sound pretty unique.
Absolutely.
And speaking of unique, the material also mentioned how many different wine regions there are in Tunisia. Like, it's a relatively small country, but the variety is huge.
Yeah, and that's what makes Tunisian wine so interesting. I mean, you can find something for everyone. Like, take Cat Bon, beautiful place, known for its white wines, crisp, refreshing if someone loves a Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay, you've got my attention. That's my go-to white.
You'd be in heaven. Think, all the citrus you expect, but then there's this subtle salinity, a little whisper of the Mediterranean Sea.
Now, that is what I'm talking about. What causes that? Is it the soil or something?
It's the terroir, yeah, for sure. Like a little bit of magic, right? The vineyards in Naboul, they're practically on the beach. Sandy soil and those sea breezes, they carry little droplets of salt.
Wait, really? So the salt, it actually gets into the soil, into the grapes?
Yep, over time it all adds up.
Yeah.
And that's what you're tasting.
That is so cool. I've heard people talk about minerality in wine. Is that what they mean? That like salty sea air taste?
Exactly. It's subtle, but you get this little, almost a tang on your tongue. Sometimes a flinty taste, too. Hard to describe, but it adds something really special to the wine.
I am adding wine tasting in Naboul to my bucket list, like, right now. This is amazing. Okay, so we've got the crisp whites of Cat Bon, the kind of salty ones from Naboul. What else you got for me? What other regions are we hitting up on this Tunisian wine tour?
Well, if you're more into, like, big, bold reds,
Yeah.
you got to try the stuff from Bizerte.
Okay, now we're talking. I do love a good red. What's so special about the Bizerte region?
So imagine this. You open a bottle of Bizerte red, and you get hit with this aroma. Ripe plums, figs, maybe a hint of spice. It's intense.
Okay, you had me at ripe plums. That sounds incredible. I was looking at the material you sent over, and one of the things it said was that these wines have intense aromas. What makes them so, I don't know, powerful smelling?
It's all about the grapes. Bizerte is known for Carignan and Syrah grapes. And the climate there, warm, dry, plus the soil, it's got a lot of clay in it. All that means those grapes get super ripe, super flavorful.
Man, every time I think I'm getting a handle on wine, I learn something new. It's kind of humbling. But let's be real, we can't talk about wine without talking about food. So what pairs well with all these amazing Tunisian wines? Because I have a feeling it's got to be good. I mean, come on, we've got like ancient Phoenicians, French influences, and this whole sea salt thing happening. Tunisian food has got to be pretty amazing to hold its own.
Oh, yeah. You are so right about that. Tunisian food is like this explosion of flavors. Mediterranean, North African, it's all in there.
Okay, so spill it. Give me some examples. What kind of pairing will blow my mind?
Well, you're the adventurous type, right? I think you'd love the Machui lamb. It's a classic, slow-roasted, smoky cumin, saffron. And then you pair that with a big red from Bizerte, like a Carignan. Man, flavors.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Smoky, spicy. That sounds amazing. But what about folks who aren't ready to cook a whole lamb and eat pairings for, I don't know, us regular people?
Of course. Don't worry, there's something for everyone. You know couscous, right? So imagine that, all these vegetables, Maybe a little harissa paste for some heat. Pair that with a lighter red, maybe a Grenache. Fruity, but still a little spice. Perfect match.
I learned so much doing these deep dives with you. It's seriously making me want to book a flight. So we've got the history, the regions, the food, anything else I absolutely need to know about Tunisian wine.
One thing that really stood out to me going through the materials was they mentioned these really iconic Tunisian wines. The Cuvée des Commandeurs, Magon, Chateau, Morag.
Those names are a mouthful. So, like, if I saw these on a menu, these are the ones to order.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. Part of the fun is discovering them yourself, right? But let's just say these are the ones that really showcase what Tunisian wine is all about. Unique grapes, incredible quality. You won't be disappointed.
This has been incredible, honestly. I had no idea Tunisian wine was such a hidden gem.
There you go. Always something new to learn, right?
Absolutely. Big thank you to you, our listeners, for sending us on this wild wine adventure. And until next time, remember, keep exploring, keep tasting, because you never know what hidden gems you'll uncover in the world of wine. Cheers.